how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. Anyway, so like I was saying, basically what she did was like, first of all, she was like, I'm the mother of dragons. Because like before she was like, I'm Daenerys Stormborn. I'm the rightful queen of Westeros. I am blood of the dragon. I was like, shut up. Anyway, I'm basically doing a reading vlog for A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm so excited for it. Like, I've been wanting to reread these books for years. This reading vlog will be for these 3 books. Fire and Blood by George Ray Martin. We have A Game of Thrones by George Ronald Reagan Martin. And finally, we have A Clash of Kings by George Richie Rich Martin. We're gonna read these 3 books. We're gonna talk about them, okay? I'm not gonna go into anything too big, but there might be like mild spoilers here and there. I'll try to like put them or warn them before they happen. This book is a history book of the Targaryen history, at least half of the Targaryen history. And these 2 books are the first 2 in The Song of Ice and Fire. A Game of Thrones is the first book, Clash of Kings is the second book. And then in the second part of this vlog, which I'm thinking will probably go out maybe like a month from when this video was uploaded, where I'll read Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons. In case you don't know, in case you're like, what the fuck is Game of Thrones? I've never even heard of that. This is basically following this guy named Ned. Ned is a Stark. Starks rule Winterfell. Basically like the wardens of the north, because they live in this place called Westeros, right? In Westeros, there are 7 different kingdoms sort of broken up, and the north is like the largest. Ned is like the main guy, the main Stark. And then we have Robert Baratheon, who happens to be the king of Westeros and these 7 kingdoms. Robert Baratheon and Ned used to be real chill. Robert Baratheon and Ned used to be like fucking besties. They would do everything together, like hair, shopping, nails, like they would do everything. They were gal pals, all right? But they haven't really talked much because of some stupid thing that like Ned is like kind of pissed about. I guess he has like kind of a reason to, because Robert basically ordered like a bunch of babies to be killed. So it's like not great. Anyway, so Robert shows up at Winterfell with like all of his little king's men. He's like, hey Ned, it's been so long. Oh my God, I missed you. Oh my God. Yeah, I was like in love with your sister, Lyanna. And like, it's so sad that she died. Like, I wish I could kill that motherfucker every fucking day. Like, it was so sad. And so Ned's like, yeah, cool. What do you want? And Robert is like, listen, Ned, John Aaron, that guy that like raised you and I, basically, like he died. It's like super sad. I know. Very upset about it. Since he was like the hand of the king, I was thinking, wouldn't it be crazy if like you were the hand of the king? Ned immediately is like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not doing that. That's so fucking stupid. Why would I want to go to King's Landing? Like this fucking southerner shit. Like, no. But he doesn't say that. He's like, let me think about it. His wife, Catelyn, is like, listen, Ned, I'm pretty fucking sure that these Lannisters, Robert Baratheon is married to Cersei Lannister, and her family is like really, really rich, really, really powerful, right? And so Catelyn is like, I'm pretty sure the Lannisters murdered John Aaron, and I really think that you should go to like fucking, you know, tell on them, you know? I feel like you should go and try to like solve the mystery. And so Ned is like, listen, didn't even ask you, but I guess you're kind of right. Plus, it also doesn't help that the Lannisters might have tried to murder their child. That's not great. Basically, Ned is like, fine, Robert, I'll go with you to fucking King's Landing. I'll be the hand of the king, even though I don't want to be. So Ned goes with him and his 2 daughters. They go off to King's Landing. And that's where the story really begins. And it's fucking wild. The places this goes, it's crazy. Honestly, right now I'm in the middle of reading this one, the second one. It's even fucking crazier. If you're interested in seeing my reactions to these books, please continue watching. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe, because I talk about books and stuff and you probably want to see that, don't you? Yeah, probably. Duh, because I'm a booktuber. I don't know. I'm literally gross. I need to stop. And I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Roll the clip. Roll the tapes. Let's do it. Let's fucking go.
Random House Audio presents Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. Read for you by Simon Vance.
Hi, welcome to this reading vlog. Hello. So I have started and I've almost finished Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. Little George Ray, little George Ronald Reagan. I've got about 200 pages left. Oh my god, dude. I am obsessed with this. I'm really loving it. These Targaryens are fucking messy, okay? These Targaryens have zero chill. And I really wanted to talk to you about a few of my like favorite parts, or like a few of my like favorite Targaryens, because they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. And it's a lot. So let's talk about it, okay? By the way, how are you? How's it going? How are you doing? Are you doing all right? I hope you are. It kind of seemed like I was like an ASMR channel. Like, are you doing okay? Are you doing all right? Like, excuse my hair, by the way. It's like absolutely fucking crazy. I like woke up maybe like an hour ago. Oh god. Let's start at the start. So basically, like a long time ago, like 300 years ago, there was this place called Valyria, and the Targaryens were one of the families that like lived on Valyria. They were one of the lower houses, and one day this girl named Daenerys, she like comes up to her dad and she's like, I had this crazy fucking dream. It's absolutely fucking crazy. Like I dreamt that Valyria is just gonna kick the bucket. I had this dream that like everybody on Valyria is totally gonna die. It's like such a bummer. So her dad is like, okay, that seems like it's like kind of ominous, kind of like a premonition. Let's leave. Let's get the fuck out of here. So Daenerys and her dad and all the Targaryens get the fuck out of Valyria. And then literally like a year or two later, Valyria gone. Like, so the Targaryens were like, oh my god, thank god we got away from that one. And you know, a few generations later, there's this guy named Aegon with his like two sisters, Visenya and Rhaenys. Aegon is like, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if I just like conquered this bitch? Like, wouldn't it be wild? And his sister wives, because Visenya and Rhaenys are his wives, you're only supposed to marry like one of them, but because he preferred his sister Rhaenys, he was like, I guess I'll marry you too, because technically you're supposed to marry like the older sister. Anyway, he's like, it would be fucking wild. And his sister's like, oh my god, you're crazy, Aegon, you're crazy. Aegon like conquers the 7 kingdoms, and like a few people are like, okay, get the fuck out of here, Targaryen, like you're fucking crazy. We're not, you can't be king. That's crazy. But then Aegon is like, okay, but like I have like 3 giant ass dragons and they'll fucking burn your entire life down. And they're like, okay, Aegon, you're king. Congratulations. Good. That's like what happens basically. Anyway, so the part that I have been living for is the part with Jaehaerys the first, because first of all, he's a bad bitch, but then even more of a bad bitch is his fucking wife, Alysanne. I am obsessed. Their whole thing was like crazy. Like them coming into power was crazy. Jaehaerys came right after his uncle Maegor, who is just like a fucking mess. Like he was so rude all the time. Nobody fucking liked him, and he was just like a mess. He had like 4 wives, and it's like, okay, Maegor, chill out. Like you don't need 4 wives, you like limp dick bitch. But whatever. Jaehaerys takes the reins after Maegor, and basically after Maegor, anybody could look good. But Jaehaerys really is a good king. He's thinking about the peasants in King's Landing. He's creating roads outside of King's Landing so people can like travel and shit, because it's just like fucking dirt. It's just like fields and shit. So Jaehaerys is like, we should create roads all through Westeros so that people can like get around. And I'm assuming that's what the King's Road is. Literally genius. So he's the one who came up with that. And then also in King's Landing, he's like, everybody's drinking like dirty ass water. And his council is like, yeah, who cares? We have ale and like wine to drink, so like we're fine. And Jaehaerys is like, yeah, but everybody else is drinking dirty fucking water. And they're like, who cares? They're poor, of course they are. And then Alysanne, being the bad bitch that she is, Alysanne pulls like a fucking Aaron Brockovich moment where she at the next small council meeting, she brings the lords cups of dirty ass water that the peasants drink from like the river, and she's like, go ahead, drink up, go ahead, this is what you're drinking from now on. And they're like, okay, so should we get clean water? I think that's what we should get. So then Jaehaerys is like, okay, cool, so let's create like little fountains for all the people that have clean drinking water. So he makes it so that like the peasants and the lower folk can have clean drinking water. Like he's such a good fucking king. By the way, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this world. Alysanne, like I said, is a bad bitch. Like she's the kind of girl By the way, Alysain is also Jaehaerys' sister, but they're like actually like in love. Like it was crazy, and like nobody wanted it to happen because like the faith was like, incest is fucking disgusting. You Targaryens are fucking dirty. Stop marrying your fucking sisters. The Targaryens are like, this is how it fucking works, bitch. Like, what do you mean? Came to the point where like Targaryens and like the faith, like the seven, were like, how about nobody can be incestuous except for the Targaryens? How's that? And so they're like, okay, I guess that's kind of a good like balance thing, whatever. So only the Targaryens can be incestuous, which is why in Game of Thrones when Cersei and Jaime are like fucking, everyone is like, that's fucking disgusting. Even though the Targaryens do it, it's because they had that thing where like only the Targaryens are exempt from it, nobody else. There's this quote from Alysain, which is my fucking favorite. She says, and I quote, "A ruler needs a good head and a true heart. A cock is not essential. If your grace truly believes that women lack the wit to rule, plainly you have no further need of me." Alysain is my queen. My fucking queen. I live for her. Anyway, so everybody loves Alysain, right? Like everyone's obsessed with her. I mean, for good reason, because she's like a smart fucking hoe. Alysain goes like north, right? And she goes to Winterfell and she goes to the Wall. And when she goes to Winterfell, she meets the Lord, who I forget who it was. I forget his name, but he is just like this crouchety dude, right? Like he is not, it's not the most chipper kind of man. And so Alysain is like, oh my god, like, wouldn't it be crazy if we like match some of like my kids to your kids or whatever? And he was like, I don't really care, like, shut up. And then Alysain keeps talking to him, and she's so charming, she's so charismatic, she's so kind that he like literally warms to her. This crotchety old man who doesn't fucking smile, he's like, he becomes like an Alysain stan and he's like, oh my god, let's marry our children or whatever. Like they become besties. And then Alysain goes to the Wall and she tells them like, oh my god, that castle is like so old, it's so rickety, like you guys are literally going to die being in that thing. Like I'm afraid for your lives because it could like collapse at any moment. And she takes off her jewelry. She takes off the jewelry from her fingers and she gives it to them and she's like, build a new castle. And again, the Night's Watch is like obsessed with her. Everyone is obsessed with her. So they build their new castle, but they also build a statue of Alysain. So Alysain isn't just like queen, you know what I mean? Like she's not just like there to be like pretty and stuff. She like actively thinks about like what's best for her family. She thinks about the people. She thinks about how to make things better, how to make things easier, smoother. She's so good. I'm obsessed with her right until the last day. So, okay, and then let's talk about their fucking kids, okay? Because Jaehaerys and Alysain had like a shit ton of kids, like a shit ton. And literally, a spoiler alert, they all die. 13 children, and every single one of them are either like dead or exiled. Dead or exiled. I'm not gonna give anything away because I don't want to give you like any clues or whatever. But I mean, if you've watched House of the Dragon, you know that Viserys I is Jaehaerys' grandson. So it wasn't even his son who went to the Iron Throne. Their whole family line is just fucked. Also, actually, that reminds me, I also wanted to show you this other thing that I thought was like really fucking freaky, to be honest. I think it was Alysain's sister, or no, one of Maegor's wives. I think, at least. I can't listen. The whole family tree thing is so fucking confusing. But this girl named Rhaenys? No, I forget her name. She has a daughter, and her daughter's name is Arya. Arya Targaryen is like this like wild child. Like she's crazy. She's like, I want to go to King's Landing. I want to be in court. I want to like do all this stuff, whatever. And her mom is like, that's no place for you. Like you can't go there. Like we're not doing that. It's crazy. And her daughter basically gets so like fed up that she like runs away. But not only does she run away with like Balerion the Black fucking Dread. If you know, you know. Balerion was Aegon the Conqueror's dragon. And this girl, this like 13-year-old girl, Arya, she like hops on Balerion and she gets the fuck out. What? And then what's also fucking crazy is that like after she ran away, nobody could fucking find her. Like nobody could find her or the fucking dragon. And this dragon is big. This dragon is like huge. It's the biggest dragon in Westeros. It's huge, but nobody saw them. There was no sightings. And so everybody was like, what the actual fuck? Where is she? And so her mom goes crazy and she like goes looking for her and everything. Can't find her. Cut to like 2 or 3 years later, Arya shows up on Balerion. They show up at King's Landing, and she falls off the dragon and she is sick. Okay, let me show you this photo because it's literally fucking wild. Like, she is skeletal, right? She's skeletal. She has all these like marks on her body, like these like welts almost. And not only that, but the maesters discovered that she has like moving things underneath her skin. Underneath her skin, she's, oh my god, it's so fucking gross. What's also interesting is that she like is like burning from the inside out. Like, people touch her and she is hot, like burning to the, like, her fever is crazy, and eventually it gets so bad that like she gets so hot that her skin like dries, cracks, and like bursts open or whatever. And not only that, but like her eyes cook within her skull. Like, she is burning alive from the inside out. The maesters are like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? Why is this happening? This is suspicious. This photo gives me, ugh. It doesn't give me good feelings, I'll tell you that. And nobody really knows what the fuck happened, like where she went. Nobody knows for sure. But people do speculate that when she got on Balerion, Balerion was like, I don't know where to fucking go. But it's because all Balerion has ever really known is like Dragonstone and Valyria. So then it's said that Balerion took her to Valyria, which now is just this like empty place where people think it's like cursed, people think it's haunted. There's like reportedly really weird shit going on in Valyria, like weird animals, weird creatures, witchcraft, that kind of shit. Like, it's fucked up. And so people think that Balerion went to Valyria with Arya, and that's what happened, that she got like sick with some kind of parasite on Valyria. It's fucked up. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, I've talked your ear off for, how long? 16 minutes. I've talked your ear off for 16 minutes. I am obsessed with this. I'm loving it. I'm literally almost done. I think I have like 2 hours or something left in the audiobook. I'm not gonna say anything about the Dance of Dragons. I do think it is fucking crazy though. And like, I am so excited to see what they do with the TV show because I don't even know what to expect. I basically just finished the part where the Dance of the Dragons has ended, and the whole thing is wild. And like, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. I'm excited to see what they do with it in the show. And I'm excited to finish this, and then I'm excited to move on to the big daddy, which is Game of Thrones. I'm really looking forward to this. I can't wait to start. While I'm reading this, I do miss like narration. Like, I do miss like an internal monologue, very much more like a textbook. So I'm excited to actually get to this and get to reading, you know, narration, inner monologues and inner dialogue, and you know, see political intrigue, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I've talked so long. So progress. I have finished Fire and Blood, and I'm currently reading A Game of Thrones. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I've been sending my friend like voice messages, and I just went upstairs, so excuse me. This is my second cup of coffee. I really need it. I don't know what it is, but lately I have been like really craving coffee. Like, I get up in the morning and I feel like it's not enough. Like, I feel like I need like 10 gallons of it, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's because I'm like super tired or like what the fuck's going on, but that's how I feel. Anyway, Fire and Blood. What did I fucking think? Oh my god, dude. I really fucking loved this. Despite it being very dry, very sort of matter of fact, and like having almost no like character development because it's literally just like a textbook kind of thing, I really loved it. I think it's so fucking interesting. I am obsessed with George's world. The fact that Mr. George R.R. went to all of this trouble of creating this giant fucking tome and being like, this is the history. My favorite Targaryens are, first of all, Alysanne. Alyssane's a fucking baddie. Dude, she's a bad bitch. She went in a bad bitch, she left a bad bitch. She was so fucking cool. I loved reading about her. I really loved reading about Rhaenyra, of course. I feel as though also like Rhaenyra in the book is so much different from Rhaenyra in the show. Like, mostly I think because like the Rhaenyra in the show is like much more developed because she has to be, whilst the Rhaenyra in this book, we don't really need to know what her personality is like. I honestly also just like can't even see Rhaenyra in the show doing some of the shit that Rhaenyra does in this. I'm not gonna give anything away, no spoilers, but the Dance of the Dragons is fucking wild. It's wild. These Targaryens are so fucking messy. They are messy. Like, they were really like, you know what if we just like killed everyone? Yeah, I would say that my favorite parts were the parts about Jaehaerys and Alysanne, the Dance of the Dragons, and I also really loved like the sort of resolution to the Dance of the Dragons. I think it was also super interesting. Yeah, also, what I didn't fucking realize, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, is that this is just one half of the history. There's like another half. Excuse me? This literally only goes up to Aegon III. And there's like 6 or 7 more kings after him. So again, like this is only half. I thought this was gonna be the full history. I'm excited to wait another 10 years for George R.R. Martin to release the second half of this. If he even does. Does anybody know if he's actually gonna release the other half? He must. He has to, right? Right? Either way, I loved it. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4.5 out of 5. At some points it did drag a little bit because it was, again, like I said, it was super dry, but overall I loved it. I thought it was fucking fascinating, dude. Game of Thrones. I am almost halfway actually. I love this, dude. I'm being transported back to Westeros. My fucking guy Ned, fucking Arya, fucking Jon, Tyrion. So of course we're introduced to Samwell, right? At the Wall. He's taken the black because his dad was like, listen, you're a fucking pussy, dude. I can't have you representing me. Like, it's so embarrassing. So fucking Samwell, Mr. fucking Sammy is like, it's like kind of rude, but whatever, I guess. He takes the black because his father's like ashamed of him. I can't have this guy like being like a lord. Like, it's so embarrassing. We're not doing it. So him and Jon, as you probably know, hit it off like fucking immediately, dude. Immediately. Like, Jon sees him and he's like, oh, I feel bad for this guy. Like, he's getting his ass kicked. Literally, their relationship is kind of gay. Like, I was reading it and I was like, this is like giving me like homoerotic. And I kind of live for it. I kind of love thinking of like Jon and Samwell as like lovers. I thought it was super romantic. Super like gay, but like suspiciously gay. Also, what's fucked up is like when Sam's father tells him, by the way, you're going to the Wall, we don't want you here, he literally threatens to kill him. He's like, you can either go to the Wall or you can have an accident, to spare your mother, of course, the horror of me having killed you. Which one do you want? And of course he chooses the fucking Wall. He wants to be murdered by their dad. Yikes. Also, why is it that there are no like lesbians in Game of Thrones? Like, I was thinking about this while I was reading Fire and Blood. There's like no women loving women. It's either like gay dudes or the women are just like hetero, like, you know, ladies, or they're just hetero whores. I'm excited though, dude. The part where I am, Ned is in King's Landing. He's amongst everybody who is playing the Game of Thrones. He doesn't know what the Game of Thrones is. Sorry, my camera died. Ned is playing the Game of Thrones. He doesn't fucking know he's playing the Game of Thrones. Ned is so naive. He's so naive. He's so honorable. And like, God bless him. Like, I honestly love Ned. He's just not very smart politically. And like, I get it. Like, he doesn't need to be. He's a lord in the north. Like, why would he need to be politically savvy, you know? By the way, I am also a strong believer, as many people are, in R plus L equals J. Like, 100%. Anybody who isn't is like, I totally think that Lyanna, in those flashbacks, in Ned's perspective, because Ned is having these like constant like memories, like flashbacks to this moment with Lyanna where she tells him, promise me, Ned, promise me. She's described as being in a bed of blood. A lot of people interpret that to mean that she like had just given birth, and she's like, Ned, you better fucking promise me that you're gonna fucking take care of this kid. The kid, of course, is Jon Snow. Jon Snow, of course, because Jon Snow, as we all know, is a Targaryen / Stark. That's who Jon Snow is, and I think it's so iconic. I'm a huge believer in that theory. And dude, oh my god, dude, also, even though I think that Catelyn Stark in some ways gets like a bad rap for her hatred of Jon, I feel bad. I mean, why do I feel bad though? She's literally fictional. But like, I feel bad because a lot of people are like, Catelyn's a fucking bitch, Catelyn's a fucking cunt, like, we hate Catelyn. But at the same time, I'm also like, okay, yeah, but also she's like, okay, she's like a pretty good mom to her other kids, like her actual biological children. But I do fucking hate her for what she does to Jon. The fact that she hates him with so much vitriol. When Bran was like in bed, like in a coma or whatever, and Jon came in and she gave him like the fucking death stare or whatever, and was basically like, it should have been you who fucking fell, like you should have fucking died rather than this kid. I was like, that's gone too far, Catelyn. You went too far. You went too fucking far. If you had just kept your mouth shut, maybe we could have been like, okay, it's like, she doesn't like him, but like, whatever. But like, at this point, it's like, how do I defend you? You sound awful. Catelyn's nuanced. We don't know how to feel about Catelyn. I love Arya. Arya's a bad bitch. I hate Sansa because, duh, who wouldn't hate Sansa? I've also seen people say that Sansa's character is like George's take or deconstruction of like fairy tale princesses and like fairy tales in general, and how this idea of like this, like, you know, beautiful Prince Charming and happily ever after isn't always that easy. In that respect, I think it's interesting that Sansa has the character arc and the character development and character plot points that she does, because she's constantly just being like cycled through and like basically abused for most of the series, from what I know. Tyrion is weird. Tyrion is like suspicious for me. The first time we're introduced to Tyrion, he does like a fucking backflip. Like, he literally does a backflip in front of Jon Snow. Like, Jon Snow is like, the fuck? And so Tyrion like jumps off of like the thing that he's on, does a backflip, and like lands. Like it's like, ah, like I'm like, what? What? You know that people love Jon? I know people love Jon, but I feel very like meh about Jon, to be honest. I know that he's meant to be like almost like the main character, but I really could care less about Jon. Also, Robb Stark. Robb Stark was whatever. At least so far. Like, in book 1, Robb Stark is basically irrelevant. Book 2, that's when we're gonna get like Robb Stark, you know? Also, can I say that I love Robert Baratheon? He's this fat fuck. He's this fat fuck. And he's just always drunk. Just fucks bitches all the time. And doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. His entire kingdom is in debt. People are suffering, and he's over here like just getting drunk, getting fat, fucking bitches, and just producing bastards. Just bastards. And it's kind of iconic. I kind of love it. I really kind of love it. Joffrey can suck a dick, obviously. Cersei can also suck a dick. Hate Cersei. Right now, Jaime can suck a dick also. Bran is whatever. I feel about Bran how I feel about Jon, which is like barely anything at all. Like, I really don't care about Bran. But either way, okay, I'm gonna end this because I've been talking for probably almost 20 minutes now. I'm obsessed with this. I'm halfway through. I'm hoping I can finish it in the next few days. I just handed in one of my major papers for school. I have like a few more things to do for school. And yeah, and then tonight actually I'm having my Christmas party and I'm so excited. I'm gonna take footage of all the boards and stuff like that and show you like the decorations. I'm so excited, especially my board. Listen, I want to be the main character. I am the main character actually. Why am I even saying I want to? I am the main character. My board is truly and honestly like aesthetic. It's like goals, bitch. I made an ice cream sundae board so people can like build their own sundaes and it's literally gonna be iconic. It's literally gonna be stunning. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go because I have to shower and I have to actually also finish cleaning for the party. And I also want to do my makeup as well. So I'm gonna listen to the audiobook for this. I'm hoping I can finish it soon. I'll let you know. Also, before I go, actually, I forgot to mention that I literally ordered this and it came in the mail. And can I tell you how fucking happy I am? First of all, honestly, it gives me Pride vibes. Like, look at, oh, there's they're so fucking pretty next to each other. Look at them. Look at them. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is the fucking thumbnail. Oh, so beautiful. Like, I'm obsessed. They look so fucking good. Oh my god. I can't wait to put these on my shelves and have them just like be stunning. I only have 2 more books, as you can see, to go. But dude, fucking Storm of Swords, the third book is huge. Look at it. Oh my fucking god. Game of Thrones, the first book is like 600 pages. This is 900 fucking pages long. George, did you need to do this? It's crazy. Although actually this is my favorite book in the series and I think it's most people's favorite because it is objectively the best one. But oh my god, dude, it's huge. These books are so beautiful. Oh my god, I almost like literally cut my own jugular. They're stunning. Ah.
Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Prologue. The comet's tail spread across the dawn, a red slash that bled above the crags of Dragonstone like a wound in the pink and purple sky.
Hi, this is a new angle, isn't it? I wanted to show off my teeny tiny Christmas tree, so that's what we're doing. I finished a Game of Thrones, and I have started Clash of Kings. I am about 230 pages into Clash of Kings, which is literally what I read last fucking night. Last night I started Clash of Kings and I read for maybe 5 hours about that. So that's what's new with me. Also, I had my board party And I'm sorry, it was literally a fucking success. It was a huge fucking success. Even though there was drama, and like if you're a patron, you know the drama with a certain someone. Despite the drama, it was like a fucking success. Everybody's bored, as I'm sure you saw. And some people, I'm not gonna name names, Dom, literally like went above and beyond. Like, motherfucker brought 2 boards. Technically what it is like him and my friend Kiva are married. Rather than doing that stupid couple thing that some couples do, which like if you are, like literally shame on you. That thing where couples will bring like one gift because they see themselves as like a single unit. Anyway, so Dom made 2 boards because it was him and Kiva, and then also brought 2 Secret Santa gifts. Literally my dumbass was like, why did he bring 2 boards? Why did he bring 2 gifts? And my roommate was like, cause it's 2 of them coming. And I was like, oh my God, I have been like indoctrinated by these shitty couples bringing one fucking gift for 2 fucking people. Also, yesterday was the last day of my undergrad. I am officially done with my stupid fucking academic career, and I could not tell you how fucking happy I am. Also, for anybody wondering what my degree is in, because people always ask me, I'm a communications major. And I know this has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, I'm so sorry. But originally I wanted to use my degree to get into like book editing, or something to do with like the publishing industry. 4 years later, I don't really know. I don't think I really like editing, to be honest. Like, I love reading books, but I can't say that I love editing them. Game of Thrones. I really wish I hadn't watched the show so recently. I watched seasons 1 to 4 in like, I think September. The first book is basically the same thing as the show. Like, it's almost the same fucking thing. Like, you watch the first season of the show, you've basically read the first book. Like, overall, I think I'd give it, a 4-star. So I really, really liked it, of course. It's just that my enjoyment of it was kind of hindered by the fact that I had watched the show so recently and I knew exactly what was gonna happen. But that's my fault, not the book's fault. What I wanted to talk about though, actually, was first of all, how interesting it is, my take on Sansa versus then versus now. Back in the day, I used to think that Sansa was the most annoying fucking bitch on television and in literature. I hated Sansa. I don't feel that much vitriol towards her. I don't really hate her anymore. And I think what it is, for me at least, is that I understand better the fact that she's literally just a fucking child. She's literally a fucking, they're all children. They're all children. Daenerys, for example, is 13 years old when she gets sold into slavery, raped, falls in love with her captor / slave master, and then gets pregnant. She's 13 years old, trying to like conquer fucking Westeros. Do you know how fucking insane that is? And so Sansa, I think Sansa's like 12. She's just a child. Of course she believes in fairy tales. Of course she believes in the good of humanity. Of course she believes that Joffrey is this like super sweet, super nice person because she's a fucking kid. She's 12 years old. She believes in princesses and fairy tales. And like, maybe not anymore, no spoilers. I feel as though my hatred of her from like a few years ago was just my own internalized misogyny of victim blaming her in a way of like, well, if you weren't so stupid or so like inept or politically, like, what? She's a fucking child. Anyway, so yeah, I have much more empathy for Sansa this round. Can I just say that I am absolutely obsessed with Arya. Arya might be like my favorite character, to be honest. Like, I love her so much. The end of book 1 still kind of like leaves you with like your heart in your asshole. Do you know what I mean? Like, even after you know exactly what's gonna happen. Ned, you sweet summer child, Ned. After you understand everything that's like at play, you watch him and you understand like the things you are doing seem fucking stupid. Especially like after all of like the moves Ned made. Ned is like a Northman, right? He doesn't understand like Southern politics. Anyway, 4 stars for Game of Thrones. I really fucking enjoyed it. Of course, it's Game of Thrones. Clash of Kings though. Clash of Kings has me on some new shit, okay? Clash of Kings in season 2 are somewhat similar, but there are some divergences made. I've noticed so far in the book, the same scenes in the show were like taking place at like different times, or they would take two different chapters and merge them together into one sort of scene in the show. It's similar and yet it's not. There are slight changes. With Tyrion, he's in King's Landing. He's being like a little ruler. Tyrion is the villain. Tyrion is a villain. People who think that Tyrion is handsome, stunning, Peter Dinklage, they're incorrect. Tyrion is deeply traumatized and is more similar to Tywin than any of his other children. Like Tywin, first of all, Tyrion's father, is like this like really cruel, calculated, and like unhappy man, right? You know, we stand. Icon. Tywin fucking hates Tyrion, like fucking hates him. Thinks that he is like this little fucking demon monkey, thinks that it's like his fault that his wife died, like thinks that like Tyrion is like this joke from the fucking gods, that like they gave him this like dwarf son and that like literally everybody like laughs at him for it, because that's the thing about Tywin. He doesn't like it when people fucking laugh at him. Tywin is like traumatized. Like, okay, a little history. So Tywin's father, Tytos, he was like this like buffoon, right? And everybody in the kingdom, everybody like in the land would just like laugh at Tytos like behind his back. And Tywin would see this, but his father was like so sort of meek and so sort of like, I guess, jovial, that he wouldn't really do anything. And so like if somebody like came up and like disrespected Tytos, Tytos would be like, cool dude, like whatever, I guess, that's like no big deal. But then Tywin would get fucking pissed because everybody would like laugh at him and everybody would think that they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to the Lannister house. And so Tywin was like, absolutely not. And so since he was like a young man, he's hated hearing people's laughter like around him. Like he thinks people are laughing at him because of this trauma with his father. So having Tyrion seems to Tywin as if it's like a joke, as if somebody is playing a cruel prank on him. But Tyrion, all he really wants and all he's ever really wanted is for people to accept him for as he is and for people to love him as he is. Like he just wants unconditional love, like which is crazy because he's never gonna get it from his father. He's never gonna get it from Tywin. Tywin would never. He would never. I have a theory, okay? I think Tywin, who's this like, by the way, morally upstanding person who's like, I would never fuck a whore. Like that's great. I would never use prostitutes. Like me, no. But I think that the tunnel that goes from the Hands Tower to the brothel is Tywin's fucking tunnel because he's a secretive little perverted monkey. He's a perverted fucking man. I think Tywin had them create a fucking tunnel from his room when he was Candid the King to the brothel because I think he wanted to get his fucking dick wet, but I don't think he wanted anybody to fucking know. That's like a pretty big theory. But anyway, so the fact that Tyrion is so like his father Tywin is insane because Tyrion is constantly, and like really all of the Lannister children, Jaime and Cersei included, are trying to like emulate Tywin because all they want is his approval, but he's never going to give it to them. Maybe he might give it to Jaime because Jaime, I think he sees as like himself in a way, even though Jaime is nothing like him at all. The irony is that Tyrion is the child that's most like him and he will never recognize him as such. Never. It will never happen. If you think Tyrion is a good guy and he's like this guy who's like wanting like the good of the, he's not. He's really fucking not. This guy, he's evil. I mean, maybe not evil. Evil's a bit much, but he's definitely not a good guy. He's definitely not the one that we should be rooting for. He's kind of a villain, but he is also a badass. I love him. He's smart. He's clever. He fucking tells people how it is. He just sent like the captain of the Kingsguard to the wall. It was literally, I caught it, like he got him drunk, he gave him all this food, and then he was like, remember when you killed those babies for my sister? Isn't that crazy? And he was like, no, what? Me? I would never. And Tyrion's like, okay, have fun at the wall. Have fun taking the black. Robb and Catelyn and all of the Tullys and Starks and stuff and the Roose Boltons and blah, blah, blah. They're out doing their thing. And then, oh my God, dude, Arya is such a little bad bitch. She just got captured basically by like the Lannisters and the Mountain, and they're taking her to Harrenhal, I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited for that arc because I think it's gonna be really fucked up. Anyway, I want to continue reading. Steve is coming over later tonight and we're gonna watch a horror movie. I don't know which one yet. He hasn't said, but yeah, I'm gonna keep reading my book. I'm thinking I'm gonna have more coffee. And yeah, I'll see you later. I just need to make this little clip. I'm listening to the audiobook. I'm making my January calendar for my content, for my patrons, and then also just for me, because every month I make schedules and I plan out my content, plan out when I'm posting it, and then I post a version of it on Patreon for my patrons. So I'm working on that. Anyway, I'm listening to the audiobook while I'm doing it, and Brienne of Tarth just showed up, right? Brienne, you know Brienne. Everybody knows Brienne. Why does the narrator, just so I can show you this, okay? Why does the narrator not know how to fucking pronounce Brienne?
He said, "Rise and remove your helm." She did as he bid her, and when the great helm was lifted, Catelyn understood Sir Colin's words. Beauty, they called her, mocking. The hair beneath the visor was a squirrel's nest of dirty straw, and her face, Brienne's eyes were large and very blue. A young girl's...
Brienne? Stop. Roy, why do you think her name is Brienne? Are you joking? This man thinks that Brienne's name is Brienne. Why did nobody say to him, just so you know, her name is pronounced Brienne? Why did nobody say that? Why did the producers of this audiobook not think, maybe we should have him pronouncing the names correctly? Because not only that, but he's also been mispronouncing Melisandre's name. He's been pronouncing it like Melisandre or something like that. Why can't this man pronounce people's names? Why can't he pronounce? And then also, he's been mispronouncing Peter Baelish's name. He's been calling him like Petyre. He's been saying like, oh yeah, Petyre walked down the street. Petyre. That sounds so fucking stupid, Roy. Roy, that sounds so fucking dumb. Brienne. I literally can't. Like, I've been kind of just like going with it, you know what I mean? Being like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is how things are pronounced. I don't know. But when he said Brienne, I was like, there is no way that this bitch's name is Brienne. It's Brienne, Roy. It's Brienne. Anyway, okay, I just had to get on here and say my piece about it, because I'm like, no, Roy, you've gone too far. You've gone too fucking far. Okay. Oh, it zoomed in way too close to my face. Just woke up, so excuse the fact that I look like shit and I sound like shit. I'm about 200 or so pages away from finishing, or I have about 6 hours left on the audiobook. I'm gonna finish it today or tomorrow for sure, because I have to have it uploaded by Friday. Today is, I think, Tuesday right now, so I have 4 days to finish this vlog. But I just wanted to come on here and like make a point, maybe not like a point, but I wanted to like say something that I like had the realization for. Excuse me, sir. I was thinking my uncaffeinated thoughts. I was thinking like George R. Martin like really sets shit up in Clash of Kings, and then he pays you the fuck out in Storm of Swords. He sets things up in Game of Thrones in the first book and pays you out in the third book. Like, I was thinking about it and I was like, he does a lot of groundwork to like make it so that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There are things in this book that are gonna come to fruition in like book 4 or book 5. There is no such thing as an unpayable or non-refundable action. Like characters don't just do things and nothing happens to them. Like if people have consequences, right? I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking like maybe that's like part of the reason why season 5 through 8 was so bad, was that like the writers no longer had the source material, so therefore they had to come up with their own source material. And they didn't understand how George R. R. Martin had like worked. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like it's such a simple notion, such an easy notion to get behind, but in the grand scheme of things, like when you look at it in terms of these books, it's like quite elaborate, quite intricate. The parts where I'm at though, things are going up, things are gearing up. We all know that the end of book 1 really had everyone fucked up. Like everyone was fucked up. And so like this book, I think, is just like everybody trying to go back to normal, or as normal as possible. And you know, we're starting to see our kings, we're starting to see our many kings. And not only that, also what I fucking loved is that there's a scene where Joffrey and Cersei and, you know, everybody are like on the streets of King's Landing, because I think they're going to like the Sept or something, and the peasants literally fucking attack them. The peasants literally fucking attack them. Somebody throws shit at Joffrey, and listen dude, it's like one of the best scenes in the whole fucking series, because Joffrey's like, off with their heads, they'll pay for that, who did it, who it's like, what are you gonna do, Joffrey, kill everyone at King's Landing? Like, oh my god, I loved it, dude. I love it. It was a bit sad though also, because people got actually killed or like injured or assaulted, but like that one scene, man, that one moment when somebody throws shit at him and it lands, it fucking lands, and not only that, but it lands on his fucking face. It's described, the shit, as being in his golden fucking hair, and that makes me so happy. So far, who the characters I'm really enjoying are of course Brienne of Tarth. I love her. I stan. She is my queen. I really love Arya, of course. I can't wait for, and again, George sets you the fuck up in book 2, and in book 4, book 5, whatever, he really, you know. I'm excited for her Hound arc. Can't wait for that. I'm pretty sure that's the next book. I'm really enjoying Dany. Dany, for me, in the book, kind of like smarter. Sorry, my camera battery literally fucking died right in the middle of that. But my roommate is gonna be here soon. We're gonna go get fought, and then I'm gonna go to Staples and buy new printer ink, because I was gonna film a journaling video. Nope, not gonna happen, because I don't have any black fucking ink. So that's great. Plus I'm gonna get Steve's Christmas gift, which is going to be a poster of our former mayor with Daddy written underneath it, which I actually have to make. Oh no, I need to actually make that. Shit. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go. Bye. I just woke up and I have therapy in about half an hour, like 20 minutes actually. So I just want to quickly talk about Clash of Kings because I'm almost finished. I was reading it last night and I have about an hour left of the audiobook, which I'm gonna finish today. But I wanted to talk to you about a few things, because a few things have happened where I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Becky, Stacy, what am I talking about? Anyway, first of all, Dany goes into the House of the Undying. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it, alright? She goes into the House of the Undying, right? And she sees this vision. And this vision might be like the most important part of this whole book, because it foreshadows so fucking much, and there's so much like symbolism and shit in it. Let me take this off actually, because it's annoying me. She's in the House of the Undying. She's trying to walk around, she's trying to look around, whatever, and she sees inside of one room. In one room, a beautiful woman sprawled naked on the floor while 4 little men crawled over her. They had radish pointed faces and tiny pink hands. One was pumping between her thighs, another savaged her breasts, worrying at the nipples with his wet red mouth, tearing and chewing. I've watched like videos and stuff, people like breaking down this whole thing, this whole vision scene, and a lot of people think that the little men ravaging that one woman is symbolism for the 4 kings. We've got Joffrey, Robb, Renly, and Stannis. It's supposed to be like a metaphor for these 4 dudes like plundering this land, which is being symbolized by a naked woman. And I'm assuming it was Joffrey who was pumping between her legs. But anyway, and then literally the next paragraph, it says, farther on she came upon a feast of corpses, savagely slaughtered. The feasters lay strewn across overturned chairs, packed trestle tables, asprawl in pools of congealing blood. Some had lost limbs, even heads, severed hands, clutched bloody cups, wooden spoons, feast fowl, and heads of bread. In a throne above them sat a dead man with the head of a wolf. He wore an iron crown and held a leg of lamb in one hand, as a king might hold a scepter, and his eyes followed Dany with mute appeal. Listen, if you know, you fucking know. When I read that, I was like, oh my god, this fucking George, man. Fucking George. George has us all literally like this. He has us all in a fucking chokehold. George, let up, let up. I can't. It's literally iconic. And like, fucking a dead man with a wolf's head. It's so good. So then later on, she meets like the people who like rule this like House of Undying, right? She like meets them and they start giving her this prophecy thing. They tell her, the shape of shadows, the morrows not yet made, drink from the cup of ice, drink from the cup of fire, mother of dragons, child of 3. 3, she did not understand. 3 heads has the dragon, mother of dragons, child of storm. 3 fires you must light, 1 for life, 1 for death, 1 to love. 3 mounts you must ride, 1 to bed, 1 to dread, 1 to love. 3 treasons you will know, 1's for blood, 1's for gold, 1's for love. Okay. So they're saying like 3 people are going to love you, 3 people are going to betray you, and then 3 fires she must light. I really think that one of the mounts that she has to ride is gonna be in the next book when she goes to, you know, wherever she goes to. Other ones, I literally have no idea. I do remember though watching a video about somebody talking about the prophecy in this book and how they interpreted it. If I remember, which I doubt I will link it down below because I think it's really, really interesting. This whole scene had me in a chokehold. Dude, the more I read, the more I'm just like fascinated by Sansa and like what the fuck is gonna happen to her, because I feel so horrible for her. But I think it's also kind of like ironic and probably meant to be that Sansa's like Florian knights, that Sansa's like big knights in shining armor are these like fucked up deformed drunkards. Like her only chance of escape from this fucking hellscape is a fucking drunk Joker guy. He's been literally shamed by literally everyone that they know. Everyone thinks he's a fucking idiot and he's the only chance she has. The only real like love, I don't even know if I want to say that, love prospect is the Hound. Because I have been picking up on some weird romantic energy between them and I don't like it. It's creepy. It's fucking creepy. Also, can I just say that like all of the men in these books, all of the men are super fucking pedophilic. They're all okay with fucking children and it's fucking weird. It's suspicious. I don't like it. Arya had that thing in Harrenhal where she got to choose 3 people. And I really wish that she had been less of a dumbass with it. Although, I don't know. She's only a child. Like, so like, but still, like, if she had just been like, Tywin Lannister. Ooh, okay, and then, okay, so we had the battle at the fucking Blackwater, dude. And I know this is like, this is all very like mild spoilers. I just keep giving mild spoilers. And I think I'm gonna keep it that way. I'm gonna give like vague hints as to what's going on, but I'm never gonna go into that much detail. But we had the battle at the Blackwater. Say that 5 times fast. The battle at the Blackwater. Dude, okay, first of all, Tyrion really went in on that. Tyrion was like, you know what? This is like my project. I'm gonna make sure that this whole party is planned. And he did. He really did. He did all he could to save the city from being sacked. And yet, that guy came up and he tried to take Tyrion's fucking nose. It's so fucked. And like, I get it. In my opinion, this is just my theory. I think Cersei did it. I honestly can't remember if it's confirmed that she did it, but I think Cersei did it. And it makes sense for Cersei because she's a fucking cunt. She's like sinister as fuck. But still, like, imagine you give your heart, your fucking soul, you try to do everything to protect the people in the realm, and all you get is some fucking guy with a sword. And it's about to get so much fucking worse for Tyrion too. I know it. I feel like Tyrion wouldn't have been like the villain if he had been born into a different family, of course. It's the fact that he grew up being blamed for something that he didn't fucking do. It's the fact that he grew up a little person and everyone fucking hated him for it. It's the fact that he grew up not being as beautiful as his brother and sister. Like, the next book is really when we get into Tyrion's villain era, because his villain era is like literally so fucked. It's so fucked. But one of my favorite characters is going to be appearing in the next book too, and I'm really excited for that because I love them so much. Mostly because of Pedro Pascal, but also because his character is really fucking cool. I will let you know when I finish the book. Okay? Excuse how I look. I know I look a little bit greasy, I know I look a little bit crazy, but I wanted to let you know that I finished A Clash of Kings. And that this is basically like the conclusion of this vlog. There will be a part 2 where I read Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and A Dance with Dragons. So watch out for that. But I wanted to give you my like closing thoughts. I love these books. I love this world. I love how intricate everything is. I love the characters. There are so many different facets of psychology, I think, that go into these that makes it like really fucking interesting. And I wanted to talk about a few characters that I haven't really had the chance to talk about during this vlog, or that I haven't really given much attention to, but I wanted to here. First of all, Jon. Jon in the beginning, in the first novel, Game of Thrones, is personally for me not my favorite. Like, his chapters were interesting, sure, but they weren't my favorite. But what really sticks out to me about Jon, especially during like the first book, is his relationship to the Lord Commander, Mormont. The kind of like familial, fatherly relationship that they have. I think it's really fucking cute. One of the standout moments for me with Jon was the part with the White. If you know, you know. I didn't even talk about the fucking direwolves, dude. The direwolves are like maybe my favorite. Like, they're so fucking cute and I want one. I want one. Anyway, Jon for me isn't my favorite, but in book 2, Jon goes out, you know, and he meets Ygritte, and and I'm excited for that whole arc, which I think is going to be happening in book 3. And for me personally, that's kind of where Jon's storyline starts to get a little bit interesting, because I'm sorry, but Jon is kind of boring. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, he's kind of boring. And then somebody else I didn't really talk about that much was Theon. So in book 2, we get a POV. We get POVs of Theon. Reading his fucking chapters, dude, I was so angry. I was like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, he's literally fucking disgusting. And for me, Theon is just like the epitome of male entitlement, of white male entitlement. He's been away from home for like 10 years, being like a captive or like a hostage or whatever for the Starks. And he gets to the Iron Islands, and he's like, well, it's me, your prince. And everyone is like, okay, fuck you. And then he gets all butthurt when his sister is like, I'm kind of like the heir. You ain't shit. You're not shit, Theon. And then he gets all pissy and shit. And that's when it takes us into like the full chaos and the full villainy of Theon. I'm excited to see him again in book 3 or book 4. Arya, my fave. There's something about like a child prodigy assassin that just gets me. But at the same time, reading her chapters, reading from her point of view, you can really see like the trauma and how deep it is, especially with her pursuit of like absolute revenge. She wants nothing more than to see the people that have wronged her and her family just die. She wants to slit their fucking throats herself. And she's like an 8-year-old girl. She's like 9 years old, and she wants to go out into the world and just like fucking kill people. And so in that way it's like horrific, but also at the same time like I stand. Her time at Harrenhal is really just for me like the building blocks of like where she's gonna go next, and I'm excited for her next arc in the next books. But yeah, I love these books. And then fucking Fire and Blood was so good. Loved this whole experience. I can't wait to continue on with the books, and you know, visit these characters again and see how crazy it gets. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, my friends, my family, my familia, thank you so much for being here with me during this beautiful reading vlog. Let me know down below what you thought. If you are going to read these books, if you've already read them, what your opinions are on the Song of Ice and Fire. I would love to know. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because we talk about spooky shit. We talk about creepy shit. We talk about Jon Snow and Arya and Tyrion and shit. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. See you later.
That smile's gonna be the enemy. I wanna say something, but you are all that I see. You got dynamite. That smile's gonna be the end of me. I bet you taste like chocolate. Can I have it for free?